What's up YouTube, this is Gresnick, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today, we'll be reacting to Food Theory, What Happened to Dollar Menu? I don't know what happened to Dollar Menu. They kind of just died with inflation, existing. Inflation didn't die, it's still here. As always, like and subscribe to the Food Theorist, and myself, and let's get into the video.
This used to cost you this, but now this only
That's
buys
insane.
you this. The dollar menu is dead. It's a thing of
Which
the
is
past,
sad.
but the killer or killers might just be you and me.
Oh god, it's us?
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the show that provides quality theories at a fair price. I have to say, whenever I'm driving down the street nowadays and I see ads for Wendy's and McDonald's and their prices, I can't help but get nostalgic and think about the old days. The days when you could scrounge for quarters under the
I can't help but throw up and never want to eat there again. But then still eat there anyways, because the food's tasty.
couch cushions and go to McDonald's and get yourself a burger and fries. The days that getting that
I don't
didn't
really like
require a small
McDonald's. I
bank
think it
loan.
tastes
The days
bad.
of the dollar menu.
It's safe to say those days are long gone. But what actually happened to the famous dollar menu? Was it simply just a case of corporate greed? Is there something
Probably.
more at play here? And most importantly, though the dollar menu went the way of the dodo or my dignity, does that mean that the new and, well, I was gonna say improved, value menus don't really provide value at all? Even though McDonald's changed the industry with the dollar menu in 2002, they were actually pretty late to the game as far as value offerings in fast food places. Wendy's was actually the pioneer in the space with the
Wendy's.
super value
Wendy's
menu,
better.
first introduced in 1989.
We call it Wendy's Super Value Menu. Everything is just 99 cents.
On this menu was the Biggie soft drink or shake, Biggie fries, chili, junior bacon cheeseburger, and a baked potato, each one costing 99 cents. This was a huge hit at the time due to its affordability, particularly because of the cost of living crisis going on at the time, where houses became very expensive and people were struggling financially to afford housing. A cheap
Well,
meal
that's
meant
nice
there
of
was
them.
one less thing to worry about. As you can imagine, it wasn't long before other fast food chains wanted in on the action. Places came up with different strategies that were similar to the super value menu. Taco Bell came out with the 59, 79, 99 cent menu in 1990. It had a large list of items within those price brackets, meaning you could walk out with a huge range of items from hard or
Taco
soft
Bell's so
tacos,
good.
nachos, burritos, and tostadas, and only spend a few dollars.
Seriously, I would give
Oh my
Those
god,
burritos-
wait. This one right here. It's my favorite, but I'm pretty sure they got rid of it not too long ago. Which is really annoying because it was really tasty.
and tostadas and only spend a few dollars.
Seriously, I would give anything to go back to that time and get all the soft taco supremes I could afford. But
I'm
stuck
hungry
with
now.
$3 a pop.
Fast food chains through the 90s tried to combat things differently by simply lowering the prices of items on their regular menu, but that wasn't really working. So, sure enough, chains like Burger King followed in the footsteps of Wendy's and Taco Bell, launching the 99-cent Great Taste menu in 1998. This menu offered items like a 5-piece nugget, bacon cheeseburger, onion rings, french fries, or a drink, all for 99 cents. The Golden Arches didn't cave until years later. In 2002, they released their version of the value menu, but they did something different. Rather than coming up with super catchy names like the Wendy's Super Value Menu or the 99-cent Great Taste menu, McDonald's simply called it the Dollar Menu because it said everything it needed to in 2 words. There's a menu,
Yeah.
and every item costs $1. The Dollar Menu offered
perfect
similar to
name.
what other places were doing: fries, drinks, a cheeseburger, but also offered the McChicken sandwich and apple pie, all for $1. And in this world, marketing is king, and McDonald's is the king of marketing. So the Dollar Menu became the gold standard of value. The golden age of the Golden Arches ended in 2018 though, when McDonald's axed the Dollar Menu and instead rolled out the value menu, which had multiple items ranging from $1 to $3. Needless to say, people weren't happy and started asking questions. Mostly, what, why, and where can I buy cheap pitchforks? The what is Dollar Menu went bye-bye. The pitchforks, honestly, probably at Lowe's or something, I don't know. And the why comes down to
think so.
3 major reasons: inflation, boring, not corporate greed, gas, and
Ow.
finally us, the customers. Beginning with
Makes
the chain
sense.
that started it all, we're gonna look back at the items originally on the Wendy's Super Value menu and see how much it would cost us to get those items today. Looking at the most recent menu, and obviously this can vary depending on location, a junior bacon cheeseburger costs $2.99, a baked potato $2.69, nice, soft drink $2.69, nicer, a milkshake or frosty $2.59, fries $2.69, nicer still, and finally chili now costs $3.19. Remember, all these items did
Wow, this is the nicest menu I've ever seen.
cost 99 cents. So we're looking at a $1.60 to $2.20 increase in cost since the value menu first launched. In the 90s, $3 could get you fries, a burger, and a drink. Now, $3 gets you fries and 31 cents, which in this economy is getting you
My video just decided to stop recording for some reason, so I'm gonna
dollars could get you fries, a burger, and a drink. Now, $3 gets you fries and 31 cents, which in this economy is getting you nothing. And speaking of, what the? Anyway, speaking of, what is that? Oh, that's right. It's my freshly roasted beans, thanks to our partner for today, Trade Coffee. Clearly, I'm no fan of wasting money. I want value. I want quality. I want pretty much everything the big chains aren't doing. But thanks to Trade Coffee, I can make sure my days start off with the best value isn't perfect. They'll replace it for free until it is. Right now, Trade is offering 50% off a 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/food. That's drinktrade.com/food to get 50% off 1 month so that you can get the value and quality you deserve. Now let's see why you can't get that elsewhere. Because inflation causes prices to go up, over time, 99 cents has less of an effect on what you can buy. This is called purchasing power. Back in 1989, having 99 cents was good, but because of inflation, to have the same amount of purchasing power today, you would need to have $2.53.
Yikes.
Now, when you look at the items originally on the value menu and what they cost at Wendy's today, it's not far off the $2.53 mark, is it? The Frosty Shake, fries, drink, and baked potato are all $2.69. Again, nice. Granted, the junior bacon cheeseburger and chili are a little bit more, but overall, you can see that Wendy's 99-cent items have simply increased to match inflation, not just to make more money. So while yes, the 99-cent menu is gone, in today's money, it still costs the equivalent of 99 cents. And when you look at Taco Bell's value menu, you'll see it's pretty much doing the same thing.
So yeah, these basic items from Wendy's have clearly gone up in price a lot, but thanks to inflation, so has everything else. And because of inflation, businesses have to increase their prices so that they can still turn a profit. It's just basic business. But inflation is the boring answer, and not even that correct of an answer to begin with.
Because, especially for McDonald's, the dollar menu was never about turning a profit. So while inflation definitely does factor in, it's not that big of a factor because Mickey D and the Funky Bunch don't mind losing money that way. Which leads us to my next point. For once, it's not corporate greed. It says here, pause for gasp. Are you gasping? If you did gasp, let me know by clicking the subscribe button.
But yeah, for once, it's not corporate greed. And I am choosing my words carefully there, because it's not McDonald's corporate that cared about ending the dollar menu or not. It was the franchisees. Seriously, McDonald's corporate does not give a flying fry whether the dollar menu is on the menu or not.
We've covered this before, but TLDW, McDonald's makes the lion's share of their money from real estate, aka the rent they take from franchisees. If you actually break down the numbers, it can be deceiving. In 2014, for example, McDonald's made $9.2 billion from its franchise locations, and a whopping $18.2 billion from corporate-owned locations. Now, you might see this and be confused because only 1/3 of the revenue comes from those franchise owners, except the devil is in the details, or in this case, the profit margins. McDonald's only retains 16% of the revenue made in corporate locations, but an insane 82% from the franchises. Why? It costs a boatload more to actually run your own store than to just sit back and collect the moolah. And that revenue isn't just from rent, it is also from the food. But the way that relationship works between McDonald's corporate and the franchise owners is that McDonald's takes a cut from the top line sales, meaning the revenue something makes before accounting for its costs.
Let's look at it this way. Assume a burger takes $3 for a location to produce, and that includes ingredients, labor costs, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. The franchise owners have to set the prices to not only make those $3 back, but also make a profit so that they can pay themselves, have money stashed away for a rainy day to fix equipment and all that stuff, but also so that they can start getting a return on their initial investment, which for McDonald's locations can range from $1 to $2 million. But corporate comes in and says they get a percentage of that final price. If that burger ends up costing $5, McDonald's doesn't get a cut of the profit of that burger. After the franchise owners take out the $3, they get a cut of the $5 themselves. So if a location were to set the price of that burger to $3, just enough to recoup all their costs, not only would they not make a profit, but they would actually lose money every sale.
This ties back to the dollar menu because even if it's just from $1, McDonald's corporate makes money, especially on a scale of millions of customers daily. The franchise owners, though, lost a lot of money. To be fair, it wasn't just at McDonald's. Burger King franchisees actually sued the King back in 2009 when corporate introduced a $1 double cheeseburger promotion. It's actually a fascinating relationship because to corporate, so long as the locations are standing and people are walking in, they're making money. So offering promotions like a dollar menu or other things that keep people rushing through the door is a flat out win for them, even though that would come at a loss to franchise owners. Doesn't matter because to them, the goal is sheer numbers. The owners are the ones in the weeds, the ones that need to worry about how much each item will actually profit them. And this is where greed sets in because they want to make as much money as possible. So from minute one, they wanted the dollar menu to die. They fought McDonald's tooth and nail to make that happen, but we played our part in that too.
Yeah, you heard me. You and me. We killed the dollar menu! Or, yeah, at least had our hand in it, even if it was inadvertently.
See, the dollar menu, like so many other things that seem to save customers money, was originally a loss leader. An item that purposefully loses an establishment money, but gets people in the door and spending money on more profitable items. But the dollar menu backfired hard thanks to us. In a way, it was
I'm back.
so successful that it failed because people were able to
My
make
cat
out with a
can't
full
not be
meal using
annoying.
it and didn't feel compelled to buy the more profitable items. Customers ended up spending less money with each visit, about 3 cents less on average. I know that sounds like a ridiculously small amount, but remember, an average McDonald's location serves around 2,000 customers daily. That's $60 a day or almost $22,000 a year. Across all stores, that would mean a loss of almost $300 million. It also didn't help that very popular items were on the dollar menu. You had double cheeseburgers, nuggets, drinks, and fries. All the greatest hits. It's no coincidence that when McDonald's officially axed the dollar menu in 2018 and reintroduced the revamped value menu, that fries were conveniently left off the list of items. Not only are fries the most popular item on the McDonald's menu, meaning they're a guaranteed customer buy, but they also
They don't
have
even
one of the
taste that good,
highest
though.
profit margins. So, not selling them at full price is
Go
a
get Wendy's
pretty
fries.
bonehead move from a business perspective.
Yeah,
the virus.
you heard me. Boneheaded. Because it may have been awesome for us, the customers,
Virus.
but it was a really flawed execution from the jump. And the fact that it lasted over 15 years is nothing short of a miracle. And now all we can do is look back at the good old days of value. But, and like me, there is a big old but here, was the dollar menu ever really that good to begin with? And is value as we knew and loved it really gone forever?
Well, to determine that, let's go back in time a bit and compare a dollar menu meal to the new value menu meal. Today, the limited edition McDouble meal deal costs around $5 depending on where you live and comes with a McDouble, 4 nuggets, small fries, and a small drink. This will be our baseline. Back in 2002, those 4 things would cost $4 off the dollar menu. But how much was each item normally? Luckily, there are pictures of the menu from back in 2001, which should help us get a pretty close estimate. Taking a look at this horrifically pixelated menu, we can make out the price of the small drink and small fries to be $1.19 and 99 cents respectively. From there, the comparisons get a bit trickier. See, the McDouble is essentially just a double cheeseburger, but with only 1 slice of cheese. The double cheeseburger was on the dollar menu and sold with Happy Meals, but not as an individual item. So getting its regular price takes a bit of finagling. The closest regular item at the time would be the Big and Tasty, around a similar amount of beef with similar toppings that sold for $1.49 or $1.69 with cheese. The nuggets are a similar tricky situation because the dollar menu was a 4-piece nugget, but the closest regular item was a 6-piece that sold for $2.29. Let's take this at face value and say that each nugget is worth about 38 cents based on that price. A regular 4-piece nugget would then then cost about $1.53. In total, spending $4 on those 4 items would save you a whopping $1.40. Basically, you're saving almost 26% by going with the dollar menu version. Not bad at all. Now let's flash forward to today. Those $4 are now $5. But looking at my local McDonald's menu for the individual items, small fries cost $3.89, a small drink $2.19, 4-piece nuggets cost $3.49, and a McDouble costs
You could
$3.59,
buy like
meaning
one
the total
thing.
cost of the meal is $13.10. Is that outrageous compared to the $5.40 it would have cost 23 years ago? 100%. But with the value meal priced at $5, you're actually saving about 62%. So as far as value goes, there's way more value in the offer being given now than back in the good old days, which were great, but maybe not as good as we remember. See, there's a bit of a Mandela effect that's happened over the years. People remember going into McDonald's with a couple of quarters and making out like bandits with a drink, fries, a burger, and a 4th item, be it nuggets or a dessert. But that was never a thing. I mean, maybe it was in the 60s, but not on the dollar menu. A full meal, burger, fries, drink, and that 4th item, be it nuggets or a dessert, was $4. Don't get me wrong, still a great deal. But when you
Still
realize
cheap.
it barely saved you $1.50, suddenly it doesn't seem like such a steal.
Whereas today, you're actually stealing from McDonald's with that McDouble meal deal. There's a reason why it's just a limited time item, because if it was a permanent fixture at those $5, the franchise owners would essentially be paying you and corporate to be eating at their location. So the dollar menu may be long gone, and we'll never be able to buy a burger for $1 again, but value may just be more alive than ever. But hey, that's just a theory.
Just a theory.
A food theory. Buen provecho.
Wow. Okay. Makes sense, I guess. That is impressive, though, that you are technically spending less than you would been. Crazy. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Were you? But, as always, have a good day, night, and afternoon, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.